Hey everybody, welcome back to Steve's Garage. Another beautiful day here in Western Mass. It's still chilly here. I'm doing a shout out to a gentleman who just started watching us. He said he was 81, lives in Phoenix, Arizona, and loves the show. And I just want to say I wish I was in Phoenix, Arizona myself. 10 degrees here this morning, and we've been in a long run. Hey, just so you know, it's my 300th video. And doing a big celebration today for 300. And 300 videos, all right? So, hey, today we are moving on. If you've been keeping up with us, we are moving on to some metal work right here. I got a pattern that I made the other day. If you watched the last video, you saw that we were putting on the spare tire. I asked for everyone's input. Got a bunch of guys said, "Yeah, keep the spare tire. Looks great." Some guys say, "Don't do the spare tire." And but at this point, I still don't know if I'm going to do it or not. But I wanted to make sure that I welded everything in there and made it so it could happen. Because once I put the metal on the back, I'm not going to be able to get under there and build this thing the way it's supposed to be. So without any further ado, thank you everyone for the great comments, great support. 300. Here we are. So, actually, I think that's upside down. So 300 videos later, here we go. So let's get set up. Let me put some stuff down that I have in my hand here. I'm doing something different with the camera and the microphone. The last video, I hit it and the sender like moved or something. So I have a case on the camera, and I think that was holding the sender out. So I took the case out. I think it goes in further, and hopefully it'll be all set. So I've got my stretcher set up. I've already cut the steel out for this thing. This is the piece of steel made from my pattern. I'm going to put this over here and see how we're looking on the camera. Again, I do all the camera work myself. So trying to keep it so you can see what's happening. I don't have somebody handling the camera. So this was our pattern that I made, and I bought some of these magnets. I see guys use magnets on TV, and they seem to really work well. I just keep taping and taping, taping things on, and it seems to just waste the tape for the 100 times you put things back on and off. So this is our pattern, and this pattern fits that piece of steel that I cut. And again, this is 18 gauge steel. All right. So in the perfect world, the perfect world doesn't exist. So this piece here, I am going to try to do in one piece. May not work. I may have to cut it, I may have to seam it here or here, I don't know. But we're going to give it the college try anyway, and see if we can get that flat piece to take the shape we're looking for here. Now, I also left this original cut the way it was, but my plan is to maybe take this down to a 1/4 inch above. There's a trim line here that you can probably see, and take this down to a 1/4 inch above that, and then weld that to this piece of steel, and then my grinding will be above this trim line, you know what I mean? 1/4 inch, 3/8 of an inch, who knows? So let's move the, let me get a pen. And as usual, you were doing this, on the fly, real time, so just bear with the process, because I'm learning as I go, just like everybody else out there. So I'm seeing that my curve is like hard from there to there. And I also want to mark out side, so I know that this is the outside of the steel, and so I know which way my curves are going to go. So let's flash into this beater bag I've got back here. We're gonna get right into this, guys. Like I said, it's gonna take a while, so I'm hoping to get this done and without stopping the camera. The only time I'll stop the camera on you is if we have like some long, repetitive, just beating on this thing. I don't think there's any reason you need to see an hour of hammering, you know what I mean? Again, I got to keep looking at the camera and make sure you're in the shot. Okay, cool. So this is the outside. So we know on the outside, that curve is going to be on the bottom here. And I'm only marking this so I know when I go to stretch, or shrink, I should say, I'm going to put a curve in this here by hand. We'll hit it with the shrinker, and then we'll hit it with the planishing hammer, because I believe that when you hit it hard with the planishing hammer before you shrink it, the metal hardens up quite a bit. The tensile strength of it gets harder. So there you have it. There you have it. I think I'm going to do, I'm going to put a mark at about 1.5 inches. So that's about 1.5 inches by eye. Let's see what we got. Oh, 1 5/8 inches, not bad. I'm losing my flare. A lot of years of measuring. Looks easier when the other guys are doing it. I see you laughing. So we're starting to take a curve. So as you can see, we're starting to curve down, but I want to go almost into a 90 on this edge all the way down. So I'm going to pause for the cause, do some beating, otherwise I'll be beating here for another 45 minutes. All right, so that literally wasn't long. It was about 10 minutes or so, and got this just beat over on the bag by hand. I used this It's a hard plastic mallet on the sandbag. I also used a little bit of the old ball peen. But that got me, and then it's naturally taking some shape just by beating that. I'm kind of shrinking it a little bit as we go. But I don't want to go too drastic and have too hard of a 90 over here. So I think I'm going to try to do a little bit of shrinking on that and see if we can get this curve to start heading towards where we really want it, you know? So let's get set up on the shrinker. Hope everyone's having a good day. Hope you're working on your stuff. Tell you that winter sun is kind of a drag. Let me plug a light in here. See if we can get that going. See if that works a little better. I guess we're doing okay. All right, we're going for it. So, as I look at this piece on here, it's already starting to take a pretty good shape, but I want to shrink it a little bit right in here to start. Kind of like where I already put those lines. I put a line here and here. You don't want to go too much because then you got to come backwards. As one guy said, I'm going to earn my Metal Merit badge if I pull this off. So, see what we can do. All right, I'm going to roll this a little bit. It's kind of in pretty good shape. I didn't know what you guys are seeing. Trying to keep you in the loop here. So, all right. Now, I'm high here. Looking pretty good here. I think I can shrink a little more in here. So now what I want to do, see if I can get some rounding in here. Let's run this on the Planisher a little bit, see if we can round that off. So now try to roll a little bit of arc into this thing. Okay, now, okay now. So, as you can see, we got a long way to go. But we're getting there. Now, I'm going to try to shrink some of this. I don't know what I'll get out of it. I'm going to try to shrink some of this area in here. Let me get a marker. Anybody know where my pen is? So let me try doing a little shrinking right in here. See if that moves at all. And I don't know. And again, I got to tell you guys, this is a first time experience for me right here. So we're all learning it at the same time. But the purpose of these videos is to show you that, you know, this is the third car I've built. And the last one I built was very complicated. And I wasn't making videos while I was building the car, doing all the steel. So it's still, you know, learn as you go, but it's also, you know, you can do it. I think anybody can do it. It's a matter of giving it a shot. down there. So I think I'm gonna have to trim this line, so because I can't fit it into where I want to be. So by shrinking that edge, definitely got my metal up where, closer to where we want to be. So it's a matter of just keep on chasing our problems and go from there. So I'm looking at this here. And I actually think I've got to shrink this more here. Where'd that pen keep going? Shrink this more right in here. Because down here, we got to bring this down. And down here, it actually swoops back a little bit. So I have to switch over to stretch and stretch that area right there. So let's do a little more shrinking. Shrink them if you got them. Trying to stay out of your way. So now this bottom section is in the way. So I'm going to have to stretch that area. Good old brute force. Let me try one other thing first. That didn't change anything. So, with that said, let's switch over to stretchers. Okay, welcome back. So now we've got the stretchers in, which there's 8 screws you got to take out and put a different set of jaws in there. This, you can see it says shrinker on it. You can see that. And then here's the jaws. When it presses down, it squeezes those jaws together like that, see? And that, see the teeth on there? That grabs the metal and squeezes the metal, sandwiches it, and squeezes it in between. So it, it grabs the metal and crushes it like that. Hence, shrink. Now we are stretching. It's pretty aggressive. I don't want to go too far. Pretty aggressive. Sounds like a children's song. Don't be aggressive. Don't want to go too much, you. Do you know what I'm saying? I gotta get a clamp. Putting on the clamp. Got some Beastie Boys here. Gotta fight for your right to party. Remember that one? Today, Jesus, busier than the one-arm paper hanger here trying to hang this stuff up. If you know what I'm saying. No offense to the one-arm guys. All right. So, we're getting somewhere. We are getting somewhere. Somewhere over the damn rainbow, boy. Hope my magnets will hold that down. Magnets cum laude. No, too much to ask for. We're not going to ask for that much. All right, now that we're getting it kind of into shape, kind of into shape. As you can see, I'm going to go back and start hammering this edge down more. So we're getting there, slow but sure. What's our next move, guys? I've got this hinge in here. I always tend to jump around during boredom time. I'm just trying to envision things here. I put the hinges on the back here, because after we get these steel done, we can head for a trunk. So I put the hinges on here to get a visual, if you will. So now, this up about where it goes. Get my Jed Clampett out. All right. So as you can see, we're getting pretty close. I've got a lot more time to put into it. We're at the 40-minute point in this video. So my last video I put on went for an hour, and it took me 12 hours to download that video because I'm using 5G, whatever the hell that means. I guess it means I got a lot of G's on there, but it's the quality of the video. So it's a high quality. I have a horrible internet in my neighborhood here for some reason. So it takes a long time to video. In 12 hours, you know, I put it on at 8 o'clock at night. No, I put it on at 8 o'clock in the morning, and it was more than 8 hours because it wasn't until about 10:30. So it was about 14 hours, that last video. So anyway, we are working towards a car. I feel really good about this. This is, you know, I got a ways to go, obviously. I got to curl this down a little more, get a little more zippity-doo-dah in here, some angle of the dangle. We're right on top of our angle iron in here. You know, we got going here, we're right on top of our angle iron. So that shrinking did work here. I can do a little more shrinking in here now. And you just got to keep at it. It's just, you bring it in a little at a time. This is the most complex piece I've ever done. And I don't know, I still may have to cut it in half, but I'm going to try to work it down slowly to get it where it needs to go. I don't have a buck, which is a wooden buck they make out of plywood. Some of them make them out of wire. You've seen, if you've watched those videos, they make the whole car out of like a wire sculpture, then put their metal. But those guys, a lot of guys are using aluminum. Aluminum, much more forgiving. This is 18 gauge steel. This is 1/18 of an inch. Heavy stuff. I contemplated maybe doing this in 20 gauge, which would be, again, you move 20 gauge so much easier. It's 1/20 of an inch. But I'm determined to get her done. We'll see where we get with it, and that's the bottom line. So again, keep the great comments coming, everybody. I truly appreciate it. And please subscribe, tell your friends, and that's all we can do. So until next time, say hi to your friends, tell them Steve said hello, and tell them to watch the show, and we'll try to keep it on the next one, which is I don't know what number video it is, maybe 12, but we're going to talk about Henry Ford and marijuana. Oh yeah, I've got a big scoop on that. And so stay tuned for the next show. We're going to talk all about that. All right, guys, have a great day, and we'll see you soon.